Welcome to another episode of Gamers Theory 101, and I don't usually do these kind of screen recorder reaction videos, but we found a full-on shining gem of retardation here, so we just gotta, pick through this and react, because I've only gotten through a couple minutes, as you can see, and it's just glorious.
Working with the CIA over a decade. On their actual payroll, going on about 5 years.
They tried to make Call of Duty
I was born in
Israeli
DC.
propaganda.
Parents moved to Israel
The name
when
of
I
the
was a
video.
kid. Dual citizenship has its advantages.
The guy is such a retard, it's amazing.
Yeah. I landed in the Israeli Defense Forces out of university. Did a tour there. After that, the Mossad. That's when I first started working with the CIA. And occasionally, I'm boss man Adler over there.
So the Call of Duty series has been accused for a long time of just being straight up US military propaganda. And this take is regurgitated by anyone on the left because I feel like most leftists don't play Call of Duty. Now, I am the rare...
First of all, retard. Okay? What? I mean, it's just such flabbergastingly stupid fucking takes that it literally does take a second for your brain to adjust to looking at something from retard land. So you gotta re-gear everything, you know? Propaganda being that Call of Duty games glorify the US military. Is that what it is? That's what your point is? Go play a Chinese video game about the Chinese military. I'm sure they're going to depict their military like a bunch of losers. Go play a bunch of yeah. Go watch that Chinese movie about the time they surrounded 10,000 Marines or whatever it was in the whatever the fuck it was valley in Vietnam. And the general said, "We're not surrounded. Now we can attack in all directions." Go watch that movie and see how they depicted their troops. You know? Like, what the fuck? It's propaganda if you live in a vacuum. Jesus Christ. I don't know. It's just... it's wild.
I would say I'm a left-wing person.
Go watch a Japanese movie about Japan.
I am a communist as well, and I like Call of Duty games. And
You're a full-on retard. Let's translate that. But so now we've gotten the retardation out in the open. Let's hear the sweet thing that makes it 10 times better. Let's get the cherry on top.
Most of them, I've completed most of the campaigns. The only three
Listen to what he says.
I haven't touched are the rebooted Modern Warfare games, because the thought of just rebooting games that are still hold up very well and just doing the exact same story is so stupid. But I haven't played them, and I'm pretty certain they'd probably be US propaganda. But I have played all the Black Ops games. I've played all the old Modern Warfare games. I've played Ghosts. I've played Infinite Warfare, which I think is actually the best one. So I played all of these ones, and I am someone who can probably talk about on authority if these games are propaganda for the United States, and I've actually made a video about how...
Well, you're a retard, but anyway, actually funny, I kind of agree with him on Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, not it being my favorite Call of Duty game. Weird. It's just real funny to me that's his favorite one, and he doesn't throw the caveat in of it's basically a miniature ripoff of Mass Effect. So I'm going to assume he's never played Mass Effect before. So it's just kind of funny that your favorite Call of Duty game is the one that is a ripoff of Mass Effect. My point was always, it doesn't deserve the hate that it got. It should have been expanded upon if it had an actual story that wasn't just blah, blah, blah. Guy hates you for motivational reasons or some shit. Gonna blow stuff up and you gotta stop him. Blah, blah, blah. Oh no. You know, quirky robot friend has comedic line here and there. If it actually had fully executed a Mass Effect clone, a Mass Effect like. Isn't that funny how like video games were like, oh, this is a ripoff of that, this is a ripoff of that, until it's done so well that you end up calling it a Souls-like. And you go, oh, this video game is like that video game. Anyway, if you missed it, this fucking guy, he's talking about, oh, this is all an American fabrication and shit. I'm a communist. Your whole a CIA fabrication, he says. That Call of Duty is CIA propaganda. Retard. Your entire ideology is CIA propaganda, you fucking moron. The CIA installed communism into China. We put Mao Zedong there. To be a stabilizing element for the region, you fucking moron. So funny. Oh, I hate this United States propaganda, his stupid communist brain says. It's so fucking funny. Oh, man. He needs to research and actually look up some history instead of the dumbass pinko pamphlets that he got passed. Fucking... And understand how Russia became communist. Look into that 200 million worth of gold and the 300 original people on the boat that came over from New York, and get into that story, and just good God, man. All right. So this is about the point where I paused and was like, geez, this is so fucking goofy. I just gotta like react to this shit.
Yes, they definitely are propaganda, not just for the United States, but actually for the CIA.
Yeah,
but
you
even
fucking
I was a little
retard.
surprised when one of the co-founders of
You're
Infinity
CIA
Ward was
propaganda,
actually
you
pressured to
idiot.
make a game about a war between Israel and Iran. So I want to talk about this today, and I want to talk about this in relation to Activision, Jeffrey Epstein maybe, and Call of Duty generally. So just here's a...
Before he gives you some retarded butchered, I don't know, I just can't even listen to more than a few minutes of this guy before I'm rolling my eyes. But in case you didn't know, Jeffrey Epstein, of all motherfucking people, was the fucking asshole who went over to Call of Duty somehow. This fucking asshole is everywhere. I don't get it. I don't understand, bro. Somehow Epstein was in contact with Activision, and he was the one who was like, yeah, microtransactions and loot boxes and gambling. This is what you need to put in your game to make money. What the fuck?
Story for you. So Chance Glasgow, who used to work at Infinity Ward, co-founder of Call of Duty, he wrote on Twitter after the White House posted a meme about the Iran strikes they're doing and using footage of rebooted Modern Warfare, and he says, "This doesn't surprise me. I remember after Activision took over post-Respawn Formation, there was very awkward pressure from Activision for us to make the next COD about Iran attacking Israel. Luckily, the vast majority of our devs were disgusted by the idea and it got shut down." Someone replying, "Epstein was pushing hard for that narrative," and he replies, "The former CEO of Activision was friends of Epstein." Someone replying about other games, "Terrorist attacks in London and Shadow Company..."
Make a video game about defending Iran in the during the Muslim takeover when it originally fell.
Fighting cartels in Mexico are okay, but Iran attacking Israel is disgusting. My point is that the government would happily use entertainment, including video games, as a way to sway public opinion on major issues. There have been decades of pressure for a war with Iran across multiple administrations. The scenarios you mentioned, not so much. So the CEO of Activision, Bobby Kotick, was friends with Jeffrey Epstein, like really good friends with Jeffrey Epstein. And both these people are...
And that's pretty insane. This whole thing is motherfucking crazy.
Of course, of Israel. And if you guys are probably too young, war with Iran has been something the US has been talking about for the longest time. The next target after...
See, it's like saying fucking Forza games are car propaganda, you know? Like, it's a game about... You want to play the game, right? You want to... Like, Sure, buddy, sure.
Iraq in 2003 was Iran. That's what the Bush administration wanted to do afterwards. They wanted to invade and topple the Iranian government. Because the Iraq invasion went so badly, they couldn't actually do that, and they actually turned Iraq into an Iranian proxy pretty much as well. But there was a lot of pressure to do this, and loads of people, like he said, lots of different US governments have been calling for this.
Fucking Call of Duty's propaganda, dev team full of fat lesbians, don't even have the fucking balls to put the name China on the country or Russia. Like, we're just fighting these. We've been fighting these amorphous fucking private military contractors since the mid 2000s. Can we get a country in here? I'm down. I'm down for the Iran Call of Duty. What the hell?
But why I was surprised about this is, although Call of Duty historically is blatant US military propaganda, Israel has really not featured in the games. The only game that Israel feature in any way is there's a Mossad agent character in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War.
Oh no.
Funnily enough, you can choose who to say between him and an MI6 agent. When you're on a mission in Cuba,
Then stop complaining.
Of course I let the Mossad agent be taken by the Cubans, but that is the main one. Like,
is it propaganda, or does Call of Duty just make games about the nearest war going on? You ever thought about that for a second? You ever thought about that? You ever thought about that? You ever think about that?
I don't remember any other Call of Duty game, even the Call of Duty Black Ops 6, which is set in like the Gulf War in the 1990s. I do not remember any other Israeli characters. I don't remember Mossad in any other games apart from one, and I don't remember Israel. So the premise of this game being, I think it was going to be in 2010, that Iran and Israel are at a war and you're helping Israel. That even I would say was a step too far for something like Call of Duty. But interestingly, Call of Duty is just Western imperialist propaganda.
Western imperialist propaganda. Go move to China, buddy. Go move to China. You clearly don't belong in the country that your accent says you're from. Fat fuck. The suicide nets couldn't stop you from falling. It's insane. That's what I said when I posted this video. Bro's too chubby to be a communist. I'm sorry. You're unless you're in the government. Yeah, you're looking real Kim Jong-unish, homeboy.
4 years ago, because Activision Blizzard, I don't think these people work here anymore, was actually run by former members of the Bush and Trump White Houses, including the CIA. I want to start with naming these three people who worked for the Bush administration.
Hilarious. See, this is how things have kind of like decayed a little bit. I remember mentioning this a while ago, how like I don't remember the specific like topic, like, well, I don't remember the specificities of the story of the topic, but it was like, you know, fake anonymous people, basically, like guys wearing the anonymous mask, but they're just like, I can't remember what it was doing that was so not at all with what anonymous stood for. And I was like, yeah, these aren't people from the original movement. These are like people on the periphery now. They were doing some stupid shit. Anyway, this fucking guy, you know, a communist, leftist, with a fucking anonymous mask, and you don't even know that your whole ideology is CIA propaganda. I mean, I'm sorry, bro. You're not doing enough research to wear the mask. You don't know your fucking history at all.
During the Trump administration. So the first one who we're going to focus on the most is Francis F. Townsend, who's the Executive Vice President for Corporate Affairs. From 2004 to 2008, Fran served as the Assistant for Homeland Security and Counterterrorism to President George Bush, chairing the Homeland Security Council during a pivotal period for the United States. I like the way they describe someone who was in charge of things like counterterrorism and torture. So let's, talk about her career in the Bush administration. So she was one of the big boosters behind raising the national terror threat level during the Bush's 2004 re-election campaign based on 3-year-old evidence, a decision then Homeland Security Chief Tom Ridge later said he was politically pressured into making. The then head of Abu Ghraib prison, where people were tortured, said he felt similarly pressured to increase the amount of intelligence coming out of the interrogations following a visit by Townsend, and we're going to get into that visit. So the next person is Brian Bullatow, and he is the Chief Administrative Officer, Activision Blizzard. Prior to joining the company, Brian served in the government as the Undersecretary of State for Management, and prior to that, as the Chief Operating Officer at the CIA. Before joining the CIA, he worked in private equity, and he actually founded a private company with Mike Pompeo, who of course was the director of the CIA before being the Secretary of State. The one last person, so Grant Dixon has served as our Chief Legal Officer since...
It's kind of funny because he's behind the propaganda game, if you think about it, or at least he's like behind the cultural zeitgeist, the awareness level of where people are at in general. Like, a good portion of the population at this point, you know, if you think about something like Top Gun being propaganda, right? Is Top Gun propaganda? Well, you could say it's propaganda, I guess. I think that movie could easily have been made with or without the military requesting that a movie be made that hypes people up and makes them want to join the military. So you got Top Gun 2 come out, right? And then Air Force recruitment shoots up like a rocket. And that movie supposedly being about Iran, that's supposedly the country you're going into bomb in that movie. So when you're aware of this stuff at this level, you know it's propaganda. You'll watch it anyway. It's a good action movie. Once you're aware that it's propaganda, it doesn't really matter anymore. You can objectively look at it. But so, you know, is that, I guess what I'm saying is that, like, societally, people have reached a point where they're like, yeah, but that's the old school, normal kind of propaganda that any country would do. Any country would do a military ad, join the military. You know, I don't think that's wrong, even if you don't have a draft. Obviously, you're going to make some kind of a fucking, ads for the shit. So, you're going to do stuff to promote it. That's like 1950s, 1940s, we want you level shit. And people have almost, gotten nostalgic to it. Like, remember the good old days when they weren't telling you to chop your tits off? Like, that's the new level of propaganda, where it's on a totally different level, and it's not even, plenty of people join the military and benefit from it. There's no the new stuff, eat bugs, own nothing, be happy, all that shit, the build back better, the fucking, no gas, all this freaking so people are like aware of what the shit. It's like watching like the old school news broadcasters, and there's almost a nostalgia. That's almost like the Atlantic accent too. That's another one where that was totally propaganda. That was totally, people thought like, that was totally AstroTurf promoted throughout media at the time. If you don't know what that is, go look into it. But that you still get a nostalgia for it, even if you know what it is. It's not a thing that's around anymore. I don't know, man. Like, this guy is just so far off into the wild blue yonder. It's like looking at a frickin' alien creature or something.
June 2021. Prior to joining Activision, he served as a senior vice president and general counsel at the Boeing Company. Dixon also served in the White House as associate counsel to the president. So his company and the main product they have of Call of Duty was actually run by people who used to work for the CIA and headed by a guy who was friends with Jeffrey Epstein, who was in all likelihood working for Mossad at the time. But I want to just use this video to talk about like a little bit of nuance. So Call of Duty has different kind of games that tackle different things. So I would say actually the worst pro-imperialist propaganda from Call of Duty was the 2007 game Modern Warfare 1. Now, Modern Warfare 1 sees you play as both the US Marines and the SAS, when you're playing as the US Marines, you invade a Gulf country. Their dictator looks very much like Saddam Hussein, and the whole aesthetic is very Iraq.
So that's
coded.
his thing, is that, oh, fucking, dude, this is so retarded. Like, yeah, bro, duh. Like, what are you, fucking dumb? We're not as stupid as you. Like, what do you, how dumb are you, bro? Like, yeah, we knew what we were playing, you fucking idiot. Where did you think we thought we were, you fucking moron? Like, yeah, bro, we would have been happier if they actually had the fucking balls to put the name of the country in the goddamn map and be like, oh, look, there's Saddam, clap his ass. Like, what are you fucking, what a nitwit. Oh my gosh, bro.
And there's literally just like no nuance given to this country. This Saddam Hussein.
Why would you? Oh, super duper obvious the story you're telling. This guy's a fucking moron.
In the game. It's found out later in the 2011 Modern Warfare 3 that it was actually a Russian ultra-nationalist that detonated the nuke, but that probably wasn't thought of when this game came out. And the whole vibes of this game is just like total US propaganda.
Bro,
it's basically just...
off in the wilderness, Survivor Man with a loincloth. Bro's getting flint. He's making fucking fishing hooks and eating bugs. Bro. Oh my god, dude. How, bro? Are you so, like, just off in the bushes, bro? Jesus Christ. While the entire gaming community sits here and complains about Activision not having the fucking balls to clearly define the war that we're in when we play these fucking games anymore. Remember back in the day when we were playing the old Call of Duties on the PS2 and everything was clearly defined. You knew who you were fighting. Nazi Germany. Japan. Pretty fucking simple. You know, this nitwit, oh my god.
Regurgitating the images you would have seen on screen, on the news in 2007,
no shit,
and letting you play it as these heroic characters, and the horrible Arab man and the Arab armies, they detonate the nuke on the poor...
Wow. I mean, me not having this bizarro world brain that this guy's got rattling around in his head, and having a moniker of self-awareness and consciousness going on. I mean, I've been sitting here talking about in videos and posts like, so, all these crazy wars going on. Rubbing my hands together, what's the newest Call of Duty gonna look like, boys? Huh? Huh? New Call of Duty? Am I thinking? Are we getting that? Huh? You know what I mean? Meanwhile, this fucking fucktard is like, I can't.
And there's a lot of stuff to do with Russia in the game as well.
Oh
but
no,
I would say
the
that
next
is actually
Call
the
of
worst
Duty
in terms
might
of, like,
take place
something
in the... Are you so
contemporary, because
dumb,
it was
bro?
a game tackling contemporary kind of warfare. But I would say if we're actually going to talk about
wow.
the worst in terms of propaganda,
wow.
the first Black Ops game is absolutely insane. I actually think a couple of the Black Ops games are insane. And it's weird, they've actually readdressed that a bit lately, because in Black Ops 6, the CIA is kind of the villain. What is interesting about this game, and I'll tell you where it fumbles for me, is actually most of the enemies in the game are not Russian. They're not Iraqi. Iraqis do reoccur in this game.
Oh my god, dude.
They're actually American, which I thought was a nice twist,
Of course you would think it's a nice twist, you fucking commie piece of shit.
There is a mercenary
Sorry, he's just
come
strenuously ignorant.
out of nowhere, and it's mainly full of Americans and Westerners. And it turns out later that this is a group,
strain, bro, to sit through this. Wow.
Emerged inside the CIA itself. So what this game kind of is like a CIA civil war, and you're trying to stop like these rogue. Well, you're technically the rogue CIA group, but you're trying to stop this kind of like offshoot of the CIA from getting a chemical weapon and using it to basically frame the current director of the CIA and take over the CIA from within. And you're kind of tasked to stop that, and the bad group of people. And yeah, the whole game is basically you fighting other Americans who want to do bad. So I thought the game was kind of interesting because for most of the game, you're on the run from the CIA who are hunting you down. So I'm thinking, oh, this is really, really cool. The CIA were bad in Cold War, but ultimately it seemed like their actions were kind of justified by the game, right? But here I am, I'm running from the CIA and I'm fighting Americans. Maybe it's saying something interesting about American imperialism, and that's why it fumbles the ending so bad. Is no, it's not a comment on the CIA. You saved the CIA from Pantheon so the CIA can continue doing what it's always done, right? So essentially you have saved the CIA from being overthrown by another group within the CIA. And there's no real commentary about the CIA being bad after that. It's just simply this group called Pantheon that are bad. The offshoot, the rogue CIA, that's bad. But the standard CIA guys...
Oh my god, it's a video game, you fucking dipshit. Like, of course we're not gonna go into a fucking 4-hour dissertation on all the bad shit the CIA did in the past. They make the CIA look sketchy enough in these games while they got you strapped to a chair screaming at you about what the numbers mean. I mean, come the fuck on, dude. Come the fuck on. It's Black Ops. You're not even talking about mainstream Call of Duty in this. Are you fully retarded?
Nah, they're actually pretty cool. They're pretty cool.
This guy is a fucking straight up idiot,
He opposed
bro.
Medicare
Oh my
for all.
god, dude.
He
I just can't. It's good. Damn, I fucking like forgot to unpause this after skipping through a fucking commercial.
What? Sneaking mission 60, weapons 80, advanced VR, huh? But realistic.
Basically, I was saying, like, this is a classic otherization of groups of people that you don't understand. Like, people who joined the military had to have some sense of patriotism from a lot of different sources. You didn't just play a video game and watch some gun YouTubers. You didn't just play fucking Call of Duties and watch Demo Ranch and be like, yeah, I'm gonna join the fucking military now. You know, just like you didn't play some video games and become a mass shooter. Just like, for instance, I was talking about Reefer Madness. The people making that movie, otherizing the people that smoke weed, you know, at some point somebody had to be like, you know, this is bullshit, right? This isn't an accurate depiction of what you're portraying here. Fucking... And again, he goes into the World War II games, and I'm like, yeah, so, once again, this, you're an automaton, he's got the you're an automaton fucking elitist communist attitude, so he thinks you're not thinking about it. Like, yeah, like, you need a video game to tell you that joining the military could have a fucking bad outcome. You could die. You need the video game to tell you that. We can't have our power fantasies because Americans are so stupid that they would play a Call of Duty and think they're going to join the military. It's going to be all action-packed, getting pussy overseas, and nobody ever dies. And it's just, you know, you respawn. Like, that's how dumb us Americans are.
In every way.
In every way.
Virtual grunt of the digital age. That's just great. That's far more effective than live exercises. You don't get injured in VR, do you? Every year, a few soldiers die in field exercises.
I think we got this part.
War is a video.
In my life until footage of me playing was cut it just to put a certain amount of height on it where it goes up and comes down pretty quickly. Coordination, but I do sincerely think me playing games like Call of Duty, Battlefield, and The Last of Us made me really good at shooting a gun.
Like, bro, you having an improvement in your soccer playing because you played a soccer video game and you kicked the ball a certain way because you watched the character do it and said, aha, maybe that's how I should do it. This isn't fucking magic, all right? Like, Jesus Christ.
Before I'd ever shot a gun. So when I went shooting for a stag do, we had like 30 like clay pigeons, and again, never shot a gun. I came second out of the whole group with people who had shotguns before, and I hit like 22 out of 30.
I knew it was gonna be skeet shooting a fucking shotgun. They don't have anything else.
I couldn't even believe it, but then the theory of shooting a gun in these games translated so well to actually shooting a gun in real life. And I actually attribute games like Call of Duty for getting me interested in like history and weapons and stuff. And
Good for you.
that led me, I think, in part to becoming a leftist. But you can see why so many people
That's
play
hilarious.
Call of Duty, then go watch like gun YouTubers who are all like far right, go down this rabbit hole and fetishize the military so much that they actually want to go and join the military. And I honestly think there is a pipeline there. I know people say like violent video games don't make you more violent, and maybe they don't psychologically.
See, he uses the word fetishize to make it a bad thing. Like, yeah, bro. People get so into the military that they want to join it. Whoa, mind-bending concept for you fucking communist.
But I do think
Insane,
US propaganda through video games, and you like digitally getting
Imagine that shit.
reenact these battles.
Whoa, man, people get so into video games that they want to buy some. Whoa!
I think is a big part.
Video game
You'll get
propaganda
people
on
into
TV
culture,
made me
and
want to
I think
buy the
it's something
games.
they might want to do, especially when you frame it in a certain way. Like if you play a military game, like let's say Brothers in Arms: Hell's Highway,
Yeah.
super underrated game. If you've never played this, it holds up very well. But it's one of the few first-person shooters that actually deals with the psychological side of fighting in war and like PTSD and stuff.
Now, this looks familiar. It would appear we have much more in common than you'd originally thought. Bulletproof Matt Baker, reduced to tears at the loss of a friend.
It's not the same.
Well, that's the rub, isn't it? It is the same. You stand, knees buckling under the weight of your own guilt. You are history repeating itself.
I'm still alive. That's more than I can say for you.
Are you? There's not much to say about me, Matthew. I was weak and frail and was crushed by a secret you told me to keep.
I was protecting you.
Is this the same protection you offered Frankie? He trusted in you, Matthew. Much as the others did. But they aren't here either. Exactly
Yeah, it's
how much
all that is nice. All that is a good game. All that is variety. You got your anti-war kind of message, and because that's a normal human there, Hideo Kojima, who made that game. That's the story he wanted to tell. That was his thing. Fucking that's not propaganda. You see what I'm saying here? Like, and the automaton thing, you don't need a fucking video game to tell you that there could be a bad outcome to joining the fucking military. Like, do we really need Halo games where Master Chief fucking cries? Like, come on, bro. Like, do I want Mass Effect to be a stone cold power fantasy where there's no emotion to it? No. Like,
your protection worth.
Stop. Please.
The US war in France against the Germans was, most people can agree, an actual good thing. And this is the game that chooses to deal with all these complex things. So after you play this game, you wouldn't be itching to join the military to, you know, reenact the glory of the Second World War, because you're just like, damn, that was terrible. And all these things that happen in the game to your character, all these like things he keeps seeing and like, all this PTSD stuff, that's very applicable to any war scenario. Where in Call of Duty, it's just like, nah, you're awesome, you're great, you can single-handedly save the world, and the US military is a force for good in the world. And it's more like subtle propaganda, but I think it's more effective propaganda, because unlike movies, which maybe have a bigger imprint on like general culture, video games are very, like, you have a very intimate connection through playing them. And let's use another example. If you play The Last of Us 2, I don't think anyone's going to play The Last of Us 2 and come away thinking, I want to shoot people in real life, because when you shoot people in that game, not only is it
there are no zombies in real life, you fucking nitwit. Like, how do you make these connections? World War II was over like 80 years ago. Of course you don't want to fucking join the military because of it. Stupid. Like, oh my god, bro. Like, that, you know, that's not even... Like, you could understand the Grand Theft Auto in real life shit, where it's like, you know, it's not a real thing. We've had countless studies that prove this. You know, people aren't this fucking stupid. People aren't, you know, automatons like this, where you can just play a video game and now you're fucking outside shooting people and stealing cars. Like, You know? So to even have to go to the level of being like, oh, fucking, I somehow coming away with this idea that it might even be a possibility. Oh, I'm gonna, like, dude, like, come on, man, hold on.
Awesome. You're great. You can single-handedly save the world, and the U.S. military is a force for good. in the world. And it's more like subtle propaganda, but I think it's more effective propaganda because unlike movies, which maybe have a bigger imprint on like general culture, video games are very like you have a very intimate connection through playing them. And let's use another example. If you play The Last of Us 2,
Pulling an Alex Jones here where I gotta pause this guy every 5 seconds. But we're going on 35 minutes now of fucking reacting to this 20-minute spiel. We'll get through it. But yeah, there are no zombies in real life. Now maybe you would have the classic Shaun of the Dead moment where everybody knows what's going on and knows how to deal with the situation because there's 1,000 zombie movies out there, you know? So, like, yeah, I guess in that scenario, just like, you see what I'm saying here.
I think anyone's going to play The Last of Us 2 and come away thinking, I want to shoot people in real life, because when you shoot people in that game, not only is it super graphic, like probably the most graphic I've ever seen in a video game in terms of the gore, these people will scream, like, just...
What does he think? What is he, like, honestly, bro? Are you serious? Are you fucking for real? Yeah, bro. People who want to shoot people because some video game depicted the result of shooting someone to be candy and glitter pouring out. And you know, the Chinese kids that play their censored bullshit games where you play in Mortal Kombat and when you hit a guy, sweat comes off of him instead of blood. Like, yeah, they think that when they hit a guy, sweat's gonna come off of them instead of blood.
Most disturbing screams, and they'll call out to their friends, and their friends will call out to them, and their friends will like lament their deaths like by name. It's very, very disturbing, and one of the better uses of the medium to make...
It is? I didn't think about that at all playing The Last of Us 2. Oh my god, dude. I admittedly didn't make it through much of that game, but, you know, like, bro is crazy over here. Bro is crazy over here. I don't think The Last of Us even has, like, a full-on giblet system like Fallout does. Like, I don't remember, like, the zombies, yeah. I don't remember being able to fully blow somebody's head off their shoulders with a fucking shotgun or anything like that, like, or just turn somebody into a pile of giblets.
You horrified by violence, but Call of Duty doesn't have stuff like that, and Call of Duty doesn't make you feel horrified by violence. In fact, it just makes you enjoy it. And I would say that's the hard thing about criticizing Call of Duty, because the Black Ops game I'm talking about from 2010,
it's an action game, not a horror game. Go play Dead Space if you want to be horrified by violence, you fucking twit.
I think that is one of the best first-person shooter campaigns in terms of just like the level design. And
if you want to feel like a helpless fuck being terrorized by the enemy and just like a gormless nitwit running around the fucking dark corridors, go play Alien Isolation and Dead Space. If you want to feel like yourself, a useless normal human in the middle of a combat situation, go play those games.
Just the story and how it works and stuff. And there's a one level in the Kowloon Walled City, and I just think this is one of the best first-person shooter levels I've ever played. It's just so well designed. It's such a great setting, such a unique setting. How claustrophobic it is. They've done such a good job with that level. And that's the hard thing with video games, is like, it's art in multiple ways. It's art in maybe the story, the visuals, the actual art style, or it can be art in the way it plays and the way the levels are.
Is SOCOM U.S. Navy SEALs on the PlayStation 2 a propaganda game? Depicts the U.S. military as being badass, but you can die after getting shot like twice. Game is frustrating. I never beat those as a kid. That's why I had to buy them again. I was like, I can't let this one go. These games did me dirty when I was a kid.
And I think this is a great example of why it's hard to criticize these things, and why someone like myself can both be disgusted by the depiction of certain groups, but also actually enjoy the game on its own merits and stuff.
More credit
Yeah,
than we
Call of
give
Duty
most
being
liberals.
propaganda
I'll
for
give
the
you
US,
that.
Nothing new. It will probably continue to be propaganda for the US. I will say though, if for some reason you want to give Call of Duty a chance,
My
upon
God,
watching this video,
man.
and you have an Xbox where you can play all of them, play Call of Duty World at War. Again, like Brothers in Arms, actually kind of deals with how horrifying conflict can be through the use of gore and its setting. Like, you play as the Soviet Union fighting the Germans, and you fight as the American Marines.
That's a funny take that I can get behind. He wants our video games to be more gory in order to emphasize how bad war is. I'm behind it. 100%. Let's bring on the giblet systems.
In the Pacific Theater. And if you want one that is just legit good and probably not as problematic, Infinite Warfare is set in the future. It's like a space game. Very, very good story. One of the guys who made Uncharted 2 did the story. I just think it's the best Call of Duty campaign. And yeah, so go play them if you are interested in any of these. And go play Brothers in Arms, Hell's Highway, or the original ones on the PS2. They're also very good. If you actually want good games that depict war in a way that isn't just celebrating the violence. So that is it for the video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and if you made it this far, thank you for watching.
Oh, that was
You're
painful.
65 now. What about this past couple years?
Oh.
Maybe.
Oh. God. Yep, like and subscribe. And go play a variety of video games. Don't be like this guy. You know, don't sit there subjecting yourself to a genre of video games that you don't like just to fucking go on and complain about it. As if good God, man. Cause it's beyond a review. This guy's formed his entire ideology around fucking hating America and being a communist. And he would be thinking all this shit and still playing the fucking games, which is what's crazy. I understand buying bargain bin games. I have a bunch of bad games that I'm gonna play through, and I'm gonna make reviews of them. But this is a whole nother level, man. This is just a whole nother level of stupid, bro. I don't even know what to call this. Good God, man. Your takeaway, go play the Call of Duty games and come away from it hating America. Wouldn't you get sick of it? Wouldn't you get sick of it if every war game you played was this fucking emotional cry fest of trauma and shit? At some point you gotta have a Bulletstorm or a Call of Duty or a fucking, gosh, Duke Nukem. Is Duke Nukem propaganda? Gosh. Yeah. Halo is propaganda for the Space Force.